Alright. Welcome back to Frieren Anime Review, episode number 6. This time we're reviewing 4 episodes this time. Yes, we're doing episodes 11 to 14. And at this point, I'm halfway through the series. Well, season, basically. So in these episodes, episode 11 is the aftermath of the previous episodes where they fought demons. And it turns out one of the soldiers that Frieren knocked out in the previous episode, one of whom was an arm belonging to the lord of this town's son, who died 10 years running this series. And they just buried it dead. It's a nice little aftermath. And then right afterwards, they go to the north. They also mentioned they have to get a first-class certification mage. Now, Fern is a third class, and apparently, because the fact that Frieren's been out of the loop for 80 years, so she doesn't know. She's like completely new to her, despite the fact that she's older than a lot of people she meets. So they venture north. Oh yeah, there's a large city up north. They'll get recreation. Yeah, that says something basically that it's going to be kind of interesting when we get to it. So they walk through some snow. Frieren herself basically collapses, and Stark volunteers to carry her, from what I can tell, Bridal style. But Fern's like, nope, I'll carry her. Despite the fact he could easily carry her. I'm curious, like, who's carrying her suitcase? Because Frieren does not carry a bag like everybody else does. No. Stark doesn't have a bag to carry his stuff. All he got is his freaking axe. Fern is probably the one who carries a bag. Because normally Avengers have bags with them carry their stuff inside, like money, whatever. Fern has a little bit of bags. I think she's the one controlling the money of the group. Stark just has his axe and his clothes on his back. That's it. He has nothing else. So they carry and they get to a cab in which apparently, like, there's a guy inside who's a monk who Fern described as a pervert, despite the fact he is 300. And eventually, of course, basically Stark himself collapses, though they're able to carry him inside. And yeah, they carry him inside because he's the first one to collapse. Frieren collapsed later. So, and of course he saves him. Of course he does compliment the guy for having good physique, and I could tell he has no problem with the compliment. He probably appreciates it. Like, the stuff it could be an old man, he basically keeps in shape, which I agree with him about that. And they, of course, they stay there for a little while, and then they venture out for a while. They stop by a village, which apparently, according to the village chief, who is little girl, who doesn't know who she is, because her grandmother was the one previous chief. Apparently, she was the 47th chief, and apparently maybe her mother was the 48th, because she's the 49th chief of this village. So that said, she was late. She was about 50 years, but she's a little late. So they also mentioned there was a story involving the sword that Himmel holds. Apparently, the sword that you see throughout the whole series, you see in flashbacks, that's actually not the actual hero sword. It's a replica. It's not the actual one. The actual hero sword was kept in this cave. They actually did try to pull, but failed. But he was declaring here anyways. And the whole thing of him claiming the sword was a covered story. It was actually a big fat lie. They also find some giant wolves. One who was like a lord in the area. He's like, no, otherwise, it's been 80 years. Yeah, and of course they deal with the wolf, no problem. And then afterwards, they come across basically a village with this priest named Stein, who, well, the thing about venomous. And, well, basically he's just found by Frieren where she is fighting him in a swamp. Yes, a swamp. By the way, there's also some flashbacks here of with the party where, like, now she joins it, and there's stuff involving a subplot, a little scene toward the end of the episode 14, which I'll get to that later on. So, and of course they get to the edge of town. Stark gets bitten, and there's this priest who's there who looks at it, and so apparently priests like doctors in this world. I'm like, interesting. So, yeah, priests got healing magic, which is interesting. Cause that's actually true for some series I've seen, where priests are capable of having healing magic. Because healing is sort of a holy type magic. but not all series basically have it. Like, for example, the series I May Begin With Receptions by Soul About the Clock on Time, that one has a healer, but she's not a priest. She's just a healer. She must heal people. Now, healers mostly use their hands. That one uses a staff. That does happen sometimes, basically, when you use staffs to heal people. It varies per series I come across, where sometimes they use their hands, or they use a staff. It depends upon the series. So, he ends up healing Stark, and of course, stayed for a little while. Eventually, of course, found his deal after one of his clothes were out, of course. Apparently, they also have a thing where he wants to join the party, because actually, it's Frieren's idea. Actually, it was Fern's idea for him to join the party. So Stark convinced him by participating in a card game, lose all his clothes, and apparently the priest loses his clothes too, because the chief basically has Lady Luck on her side. Apparently, like the leash is a funny bit here. Then they get the clothes back, participate in the festival. Eventually, of course, he does them traveling them just as long enough to find his best friend. And of course, also, Frieren refers to him as a corrupt priest because apparently he likes drinking. There's also flashbacks to Himmel, the priest that she traveled with, where, like, to bless him is by patting his head, because he kept patting her head because she's tall and because thinks of her as a child, despite the fact she's massively older than he is. Yes. So, right after he joins, then well, first it comes up with Stark's birthday. Yeah, so Fern wanted to give him something, and eventually she doesn't decide exactly what he gets. Also, he ends up basically getting some Hamburg steak, which apparently was something that Alpha basically did. And then, of course, they gave Fern one. It was her birthday. Once again, this is actually the second time in this series they have her birthday. Now, Frieren gave her a hairpin, which he still has. Stark ends up buying her a bracelet, which apparently is from the Land of Flower, which means love. Yes, it's quite obvious the fact that Stark has got a thing for Fern. Though he hasn't acted upon it, and Fern just sees him as an idiot. Yes. Oh, and also the fact that there's a funny bit I won't forget to mention before I continue on, where Frieren decides to have him join the party by trying to seduce him by blowing him a kiss. Because he likes older women. Yes, seriously. And because according to him, she doesn't look old, and she's not interested, despite the fact that Frieren is 1,000 years old, but she's still beautiful. There's no denying that. She does have wrinkles. She's an elf. Talk about young love. And then they travel by carriage. And we also see his ring that we see in Frieren's suitcase. Now, apparently, Himmel gave that to her as a present for help out with a side quest. Also, they have this thing also where, because Heimdall talked casually to some people, apparently he nearly got executed just for talking casually to nobles. Yes, seriously, despite the fact he was the hero. So, Frieren wanted to show it off, and then they're catched by a giant bird monster. Then they catch it, and then of course they have to basically fix the wagon. And she's giving us a spell to find the accessory, and she does find it. And it's like, and of course Frieren's like, "Oh, you got a bracelet. Who gave it to you?" It's Mr. Stark, because he's an idiot. An idiot in love, mind you, but that's pretty much the 4 episodes in a nutshell. Still a really good series. So loving it so far. Like I said, halfway through it so far. And can't believe I only started the series just yesterday. Just started yesterday. I'm already 14 episodes in. So, I'm probably going to continue this tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Where what's probably going to happen, because I'm hoping to get there before, I'm going to try to leave the house well before 10:30 tomorrow. Not 10:30, 9:30. So, because my shift tomorrow starts at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to try, hopefully, to get one episode before I get to work. One episode on my, probably one of my breaks I have. If I get a second break, fine, I'll work on basically So first be episode 15, and then 16 on my first break, 17 on my second break, and probably 18 when I get home. And then pretty much after getting to 18, then I'll work on my 3 anime that came out. What's going to come out tomorrow, which is there is Walk in Japan myself. I maybe get receptions, but Solo Boss O'Clock on Time and Dragon Ball Time. Could I get those on tomorrow? It's a possibility. It's possible. But like I said, Frieren is a good series. And like I said, I'm only halfway through the first season. So, ask what series are next. Because right now I have 14 to go. Could I finish it tomorrow? No. I think I'll probably finish up. I'm guessing at this. I could maybe finish up by Sunday. My guess is probably by Saturday or maybe Sunday I could finish up. It's possible. Who knows? And afterwards, I do have another anime ready to go, which that one I don't think would take me very long to get through that one. No. Because this next one I'm going to do is not 28 episodes, only 12. Like, they got only 12. So, who knows? Alright, so that's pretty much it for particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do the like button. Well, I will see you all tomorrow for more Frieren and those 3 new anime and maybe a comic corner from Lucky. Okay? But I did enjoy doing that one day. Hopefully I don't get split up tomorrow, okay? Next video tomorrow. Bye.